There's a part of you that's exhausted, not from working too much, but from pretending you're okay, pretending this is what you want, pretending you're not silently screaming inside for something more. You scroll past everyone else's lives, the highlight reels, the success posts, the filtered perfection, and quietly wonder, am I the only one faking it? You're not. You've just been trapped, not by a job, a person, or a place, but by a lie so old, so invisible, you've forgotten it was ever a choice. The invisible cage. Most people aren't living lives, they're acting out roles inherited from parents, teachers, media, society. The good child, the hard worker, the selfless partner, the ambitious one. We learn early that love is conditional. That approval must be earned. That identity is something we perform, not discover. And so we adjust, we shrink, we shapeshift, until one day we no longer know who we are when we're not being who we're supposed to be. Plato's cave and the shadows we call truth. Plato once described a group of people living chained in a cave. Their entire reality was made of shadows cast on a wall. They believed those shadows were the truth because it was all they had ever known. But outside the cave, there was light. There was reality. There was freedom. Most stayed in the cave. Why? Because stepping into the light hurts. Because facing truth is uncomfortable. Because breaking free means leaving behind everything that felt safe, even if it was killing them. Now ask yourself, what shadows are you still calling reality? The lie, you have to be somebody. You've been told your worth comes from what you do, how much you produce, how well you perform, how impressive your life looks. But here's the twist. You're not a machine, you're not a brand, you're not a walking resume. You're a human being with flaws, contradictions, desires, and depth. And yet we're taught to market ourselves like products, to optimize every second, to build our value, to hustle for identity. The lie isn't just external, it's internalized. And so the voice in your head whispers, you're not enough. Not yet, not until you've done more, been more, proven more. Bonhoeffer and the courage to resist. In a world obsessed with conformity, German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer warned of cheap grace, a kind of comfort that asks for nothing, challenges nothing, changes nothing. To Bonhoeffer, real transformation required confrontation, not just with the world, but with yourself. It meant facing the parts of you that are still performing, still pleasing, still pretending. He believed true freedom came not from safety, but from the courage to live by conviction. What if the life you were meant for demands you walk away from the one you were handed? A story of disillusionment. He did everything right, top of his class, high-paying job, nice apartment, respected, admired. But each morning, he'd wake up feeling like he was stepping into someone else's life. Not miserable, just empty. At first, he ignored it, pushed harder, earned more. But the ache only grew louder. Until one day, at a red light on his way to work, he burst into tears. Not from sadness, but from the sudden realization that he had no idea why he was doing any of it. He was living someone else's dream, and he was slowly dying inside. Nietzsche and the burden of becoming. Nietzsche wrote, "Become who you are, not who you've been told to be, not who others need you to be, but who you are beneath the masks." But here's the catch. Becoming who you truly are requires the death of who you were pretending to be. And death always feels like loss, even when it's liberation. So we cling to comfort, to expectations, to identities that no longer fit. Because the truth is, freedom terrifies us more than captivity. Because freedom demands responsibility and the courage to walk alone. The psychology of numbness. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're numb. From years of self-betrayal, from saying yes when you meant no, from chasing approval like oxygen, from silencing your inner voice just to keep the peace. And so you scroll, and snack, and sleep, and survive. But deep down, you know, you were made for more than survival. There's a fire in you, buried under layers of performance and perfection, but fire doesn't die. It waits. Machiavelli and the fear of change. Niccolo Machiavelli observed that people fear change more than injustice. They will cling to broken systems, broken lives, simply because they are familiar. Change feels like chaos, even when it's the only path to truth. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to that's already letting go of you? The shift from performance to presence. You don't need to reinvent your life overnight. You just need to return to yourself. Start small, speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. Say no without guilt. Rest without justification. Feel without editing. Presence is radical in a world that demands performance, and when you stop performing, you start living. Not for applause, not for validation, but for you. A mirror you've avoided. Tonight, when the world quiets down, sit with yourself. No screens, no noise, just you. Ask, what lies have I mistaken for truth? Who am I when I'm not trying to be anything? What do I need to let die in order to finally live? Don't rush the answers. Let them simmer. They will come, and when they do, listen, because the life you want doesn't begin with a plan. It begins with honesty. The final truth. The trap isn't your job, or your relationship, or your circumstances. It's the story you keep telling yourself about who you have to be. But stories can change, and the moment you realize that is the moment you become free. Not instantly, not perfectly, but authentically. You don't have to burn your life down. Just start telling the truth. One word at a time, one choice at a time, one breath at a time. Because beneath the noise, the masks, the lies, you are still in there, waiting to be found, not created, just remembered. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button and like.